Mute yourself. Hello everyone. We are going to cover the topic of risk in project management today. First of all, let's try to understand the word risk. What do you mean by the word risk? Risk is nothing but it is an uncertain event. Uncertain means when we are not certain, we are not sure about anything, right? That's uncertainty is there. So because of that uncertainty, this risk arises. You can say it is a degree of uncertainty whether a particular project task can be completed within a stipulated time or within a stipulated budget. If that task you are expecting कि वो उस fixed time में या fixed budget के अंदर complete नहीं होगा, so that means they would come up the word risk. Some kind of risk might occur then. So it is nothing but the probability that it will occur. We are just guessing it might occur or it might not occur. It has a three angles. You know, all the projects have three angles. We have covered it. Scope is nothing but the outcome or the deliverable of the product. Time and the cost. If a project is not getting completed within a time, that means a risk will be there. If a project is not getting completed within the budget defined, stipulated budget, then also the cost will go beyond the line and then it will be a kind of risk. It will involve, over funds into it. And the scope is the tighten the scope is, there are less chances of risk. And the more loose the scope is, there are more avenues for the risk. Because you cannot take any chance of making alteration into the final outcome which you had already decided. So your scope should be tight enough that there is no room left for the risk, right? Then sometimes people get, they intermingle these two words, risk and issue. But there is a difference between the two. Risk वो होता है जो अभी तक हुआ नहीं है. It might happen in future. It is uncertain, unseen event which might take place in future, right? And issue is which has already been occurred in the past. So अगर वो risk already occur हो चुका है, then it becomes your issue, right? So that won't be counted as risk. वो already आपका भी at present वो exist कर रहा है. So risk, once we identify the risk, उसका हम impact analyze करते हैं कि in case if it happens, उसका क्या impact होगा. And issue का तो issue has already come up, so we try to solve it, we try to resolve, we try to find out a solution for the issue, right? So this is the basic difference between the two. Then coming up to the risk types. See, basically on a broader level, if you see, there are two kinds of risk. There are many kinds of risk, market risk, technical risk, financial risk, this, that. But altogether, these can be encapsulated into two heads. First is your standalone risk, and the other one is a contextual risk. Standalone risk means a risk which is specifically related to your project. It is just confined with the project. उस प्रोजेक्ट के इंटरनली जो रिस्क इन्वॉल्व होता है, दैट इज योर स्टैंड अलोन रिस्क. वंस दैट प्रोजेक्ट इज ओवर, योर रिस्क इज गॉन. ओके. एंड कॉन्टेक्चुअल रिस्क इज फर्दर bifurcated into firm risk and the market risk. Firm risk is related to your industry risk, which is affecting all the firms which are under that industry. And market risk is, it is your overall risk, be it your business risk, be it your economy risk, be it your natural calamity risk. So these all are your market risk, right? So standalone risk is confined to your project, and the contextual risk is confined to all the firms, or it includes the whole industry, corporate, or the market, right? Then further, standalone risk can be analyzed in a way with the help of sensitivity analysis, scenario analysis, then break-even, assumption analysis, decision tree analysis. There are many techniques. But the contextual risk, it can be analyzed with the help of corporate risk and the market demand analysis risk, right? Sorry, market demand analysis and corporate analysis. These two analyses are used for contextual risk. Then what can be the sources of risk? See, there can be uh, umpteen number of sources from where a risk can arise, right? So there can be technological issues in the sense ki you try to, what if the server which you are using, for an example, if it doesn't support your project, okay, it is not, the capacity is not well enough, or the capacity is not good enough to support, that server might crash. That can be a kind of technological risk. There can be a scope risk. Scope in the sense ki if your scope is not well defined, it is, ambiguously, it is very vaguely defined, then also it will leave a lots of avenue for the risk. Competitive risk in the sense ki what is the situation of your other competitors, how much earning they are making, what is the cash flow down, what action you are expecting from them, either from the price of the project point of view or the total earning or market tapping point of view. Then there can be your business risk in the sense ki the your business is in which stage, whether it is in growth stage, it is in maturity stage, or it is in declining stage, right? Then there can be international risk involved, like exchange rates. There can be a economy risk in the sense what kind of economy you are dealing in, whether your economy is going through the boom, what is the position of your economy, or it is in recession stage, or it is in depression, or it is in recovery stage. So n number of factors are there which give the, which any of these can become a source of risk. Then now let's come to the project risk management. It includes the processes of conducting risk management planning, identification analysis, response planning, response implementation, and then monitoring risk on a project. Project risk management is nothing but it is a sequence of activities which will be involved right from the beginning of the planning the risk until we monitor the risk, right? So these points have been, it is like knowing what is likely to happen, that is the probability and the impact. How, what is the probability that it will be incurring and what would be the impact of the same on the project. उसके लिए what can be done to minimize, कि क्या किया जा सकता है कि आप उसकी occurrence की probability को कम कर दो, या what are the warning signs and how do you catch the one, right? And then what are the likely outcomes in case अगर वो होता है, कौन कौन सी problems आएंगी and उनका क्या consequences होंगे. So these are the things which you'll be dealing. See, sorry. Before that, I would tell you that there are basically 6 steps which are involved in this. First is planned risk management. There is planned risk management. This is the first step in any project risk management process, right? What do we do in this? It is nothing but the strategy which we formulate, in the sense we have to take care of the corporate goals, we have to take care of the stakeholders, and then we try to put it together, and then what has been the history कि पहले कभी ऐसा risk arise हुआ है नहीं हुआ है, in case if it had happened तो हमने क्या उसके लिए क्या steps लिए थे, how did we overcome with that risk, right? तो सबसे पहले we prepare a plan that how to go with the risk management. After that, your second step comes the identification of risk. Identification of risk. Then how do you identify the risk? See, there is a known risk under this and there is unknown risk. Known risk and unknown risk. What is non-risk? Non-risk is that risk which you already aware of and you are quite expecting it. It is already predicted. Somehow, so some or the other thing, these will be the part of the project. In the sense, if you talk about the technology, you are well aware that your server is not good enough. कि वो कभी भी ऐसा हो सकता है कि अगर सिस्टम बियॉन्ड पॉइंट जाता है तो हमारा सर्वर क्रैश कर सकता है या फिर इतना उसकी इतनी कैपेसिटी नहीं है कि जिस लेवल पे हम प्रोडक्शन सोच रहे हैं वैसा कुछ होगा. That is your known. Or another thing is that you know that your employees are not well trained or somewhere they are lacking on the skills, right? सबको अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में अपने एम्प्लॉइज का एचआर का पता होता है कि हमारे पास जो ह्यूमन रिसोर्स है उसकी क्या क्वालिटी है, राइट? सो दोज आर ऑलरेडी नोन. आपको आपके टेक्नोलॉजी के एस्पेक्ट से भी पता है, आपको आपके ह्यूमन रिसोर्स के एस्पेक्ट से भी पता है. But how about the unknown resources? Unknown risk is that risk which will involve the allocation of additional funds or additional time. वो आपको भी पता नहीं है किस वे में, बट अगर कोई भी रिस्क आपके एडिशनल टाइम की रिक्वायरमेंट मांगता है या एडिशनल फंड्स की रिक्वायरमेंट मांगता है, that would be a form of unknown risk, right? And then how do we identify the risk? There are some techniques which can be used in identification of risk. The first one is known as brainstorming. Brainstorming is also known as, whiteboard sessions or the blue sky sessions. It is nothing but it is the team coming together of a team of a project or team of an organization. वहाँ पे उन सब लोगों को इकट्ठा किया जाता है, उनको एक मार्कर और व्हाइट बोर्ड दिया जाता है, एंड दे आस्क कि अपने अपना बताओ कि हमारे प्रोजेक्ट में किस टाइप का रिस्क आ सकता है, किस टाइप की अनसर्टेनिटी है. सपोज यू गाइस आर 13 नंबर, राइट? मैं आप लोगों को सबको अपना अपना पर्सनल बताती हूँ, आपको क्या लगता है कि क्या रिस्क अराइज हो सकता है. देन आई आस्क द अदर पर्सन, देन द थर्ड पर्सन, फोर्थ पर्सन, लाइक दिस. सो व्हाट वुड at least we'll cover the maximum angles, maximum types of risk we can cover ki haan this problem might also be there, this problem can also arise, it can also be a problem for the project, right? So this is nothing but the brainstorming. That sky is the limit, it is a blue sky कि आपके माइंड में जो भी आ रहा है, जो भी पॉसिबिलिटी है कि ये प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है, you just come out and you speak up, right? That's your brainstorming. After that comes your expert opinion or Delphi. Delphi method is where we ask the experts. We choose anonymously we choose the experts who have some knowledge about it, and then we ask them. We ask them with the help of a questionnaire. We send to them, to different experts, and then उनकी लास्ट में opinions को convert कर देते हैं. Then we come up with a solution or we come up with a result कि okay, these are the converged opinions of all the experts. तो ये हमारे पास major risk हैं जो exist करेंगे according to the all the experts. Then past history. Past history means आप क्या पहले जो होता है, there is a will be covering in the coming classes. There is a risk register कि जिस टाइप का भी रिस्क आया है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कैसे हैंडल हुआ है, किसने हैंडल किया है, क्या क्या उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स आई थी एंड हाउ इट वाज रिजॉल्व. They maintain a risk register, so that register can be very good. It can form a base for your identification of risk कि जनरली हिस्ट्री में ऐसा रहा है तो इस टाइप के ही रिस्क आ सकते हैं. It could pave a way for the your future forecasting. Then multiple assessments can be done, in the sense you can do the interviews of any stakeholder, any customer, any top management, whoever has the knowledge about that project, right? किसी को भी आप randomly जाके इंटरव्यू कर सकते हो. आपने इंटरव्यू कर लिया तो वहां से आपको ये पता लग गया कि इस टाइप का रिस्क निकल के आ सकता है. Then there is one more method of root cause approach और root cause method. Root cause method means आपको रिस्क पता लग गया कि इस टाइप के रिस्क आ सकते हैं. Then you try to find out the root cause of that particular risk कि अगर इस टाइप का रिस्क आता है तो what can be the reason for the same, कि वो कहाँ से arise हो सकता है, उसके क्या क्या कॉजेज हो सकते हैं कि ये वहां से निकल के आ सकता है. एंड द अदर मेथड इज SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is also considered as a very good technique of identifying the risk, right? So after first you planned your risk management plan, you prepare. After that you identify the risk. After that comes you perform the third step is quantitative. There are two types of analysis which are to be done. Third step will be your quantitative analysis, and the fourth will be your qualitative analysis, and the fifth step will be your managing the response plan, and the sixth one will be monitor or control the risk. So see, response is the after making the analysis, how readily you are, how would you respond to the risk which will arise, right? हम पहले इन दो स्टेप्स में एनालिसिस करते हैं, उसके बाद विल गेट सम फिगर्स और सम आइडिया, सम डेटा, सम इंफॉर्मेशन कि ये हमारे पास इस टाइप के रिस्क आ सकते हैं. देन हाउ वी विल रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट वुड बी डन अंडर फिफ्थ स्टेप. एंड सिक्स इज योर sixth is your monitor or control risk, where you stay watchful towards the risk which are arising. Fine. So we will see the quantitative now. Under quantitative risk analysis, there are basically two techniques which we use. The first one is your Monte Carlo simulation, and the second one is your decision tree analysis, right? But before moving to that, let's understand this is the basic. This is the, for any risk analysis, we prepare a matrix. In that matrix, we take the probability one side and we take the impact one side. How do we see? Then we say कि अगर इस risk की probability इतनी है अगर होने की, तो उसका impact कितना है? It can be a 2x2 matrix also, and it can be a 3x3 matrix also. In 2x2, we just take low, high on x-axis also and on y-axis also. And in 3x3, we take low, medium, and high, and same low, medium, and high. So it is a very common tool which we use, and generally it is considered that 3x3 matrix is considered the good enough, right? And then how do we do? This is how we prepare it. They have shown a 2x2, but we generally take 3x3, right? So on one x-axis we have taken probability of occurring that risk, and the x-axis we have taken impact. Sorry, on y-axis we have taken probability. So this is the scale. You can go through. If it is falling under negligible area, little green, and if moderate, and then high, then accordingly, wherever which kind of risk is falling under which area, we have to take the action plan according to that. So this is the basic matrix which is used for all kinds of analysis tools. Then what is quantitative risk analysis? When we try to quantify the project, generally, quantitative analysis is used for high risk projects, that kind of risk which is very high in nature. For that we use quantitative. If we know that some risk is only moderate in nature or not very high, it is not very risky, for that we take qualitative analysis. So in quantitative, what do we do? जितनी भी possibilities होती हैं, हम उसको quantify कर देते हैं. We try to determine it with the help of numbers. तो उनको हम probabilities assign करते हैं, numbers होते हैं, and we try to find out if it is falling under high. Generally अगर आपका risk का amount जो है it is less than 0.3, it is considered low risk. If it is falling between 0.3 to 0.7, it is considered moderate risk. And if it is going beyond 0.7, then it is considered high risk. So for high risk projects or those kind of risks which are very high in nature, for those we consider, we do quantitative एनालिसिस, राइट। तो इन एनालिसिस को हम इसलिए करते हैं बिकॉज दो दैट इज द प्रायोरिटी एरिया। हमें रिस्क को प्रायोरिटाइज करना पड़ता है कि ये हमारे हाई रिस्क हैं, तो पहले वी विल बी हैंडलिंग विद दोज रिस्क। उसके बाद मॉडरेट रिस्क है, दोज माइट नीड आवर एक्शन और दोज माइट नॉट नीड आवर एक्शन, एंड द लो रिस्क दैट इट माइट अकर, इट माइट नॉट अकर, और इवन इफ इट इज अकरिंग उसका इम्पैक्ट इतना ज्यादा नहीं आएगा। सो वी जस्ट हैव टू बी वॉचफुल फॉर द लो रिस्क, बट उसके लिए हमें इमीडिएट कोई स्टेप नहीं लेना है। सो सी योर टाइमलाइन प्लेज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन दिस। टाइमलाइन इन द सेंस कि हम इसलिए करते हैं उन्हें प्रायोरिटाइज कि हाई रिस्क के लिए वी नीड टू टेक अ इमीडिएट एक्शन। Okay, it cannot, because it is gonna happen in near future and that too with a high impact. उसके बाद there might be a moderate kind of risk कि जो हो सकते हैं in future, not in near future, not in immediate future, कि future में कभी वो arise कर सकते हैं, तो उसके लिए हम थोड़ा बहुत रेडी रहते हैं। बट लॉ के लिए we can delay it, we can postpone it कि let's see it, we are watchful towards it, but जब होगा that time we'll deal with it, it's not gonna. So that's why we need this matrix, impact probability matrix, so that we can prioritize the risk. After that, see, these are the techniques I was talking about. We use interviewing. Interviewing means taking the interviews from the experts who have the knowledge about it. You can always ask for their experiences, how they had dealt with it and how they could resolve it. And the decision tree analysis and the Monte Carlo simulation. See, Monte Carlo is nothing, it has taken its name because it was developed in a city, Monte Carlo, in France, right? So Monte Carlo is basically a city. And simulation, what do you mean by the word simulation? Have you ever heard of simulation? Is nothing but it is the process of designing a model of a real system, कि हम कोई ऐसा डुप्लीकेट सिस्टम रेडी करते हैं रियल सिस्टम का, रियल ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का, एंड उसमें वी ट्राई टू कंडक्ट द एक्सपेरिमेंट कि अगर रियलिटी में ऐसा कोई सिस्टम में होगा तो वो एक्सपेरिमेंट्स का उसमें कैसे निकलेगा, क्या रिजल्ट निकलेगा. सो वी कैन नॉट अफोर्ड टू डू इट इन द रियल. हम अपने रियलिटी में जब चीजें हो रही हैं उस टाइम वी कैन नॉट टेक अ चांस कि तब कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंट करें, बट हम उसका एक डुप्लीकेट सिस्टम रेडी कर लेते हैं ऑलमोस्ट जस्ट लाइक योर रियल ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, एंड उसमें हम वो सारे जो है ना परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन सब ट्राई करते हैं कि अच्छा इन केस अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो ये निकल के आएगा, ये ऐसा कुछ होगा तो ये निकल के आएगा. सो इट इज अ प्रोसेस, इट इज एन अटेम्प्ट टू क्रिएट अ सीरीज ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कि क्या क्या प्रोबेबिलिटी है ये निकल के आ सकता है, और अगर ये प्रोबेबिलिटी इसकी है तो इसका इम्पैक्ट इतना हो रहा है. उसमें जनरली देयर आर 4 स्टेप्स. सी वी एस्टेब्लिश हर उसका एक प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन बना लेते हैं कि ऐसा होगा ये होगा. देन उसके बाद एक क्यूमुलेटिव प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन लेते हैं. देन वी सेट द रैंडम नंबर्स. देयर आर मेनी वेरिएबल्स अवेलेबल इन द रियल सिस्टम, तो हम वो सारे रैंडम नंबर्स को वी ट्राई टू टेक, एंड देन उसके बाद जो हमारे पास रैंडम नंबर निकल के आएगा उससे हम एक इंफॉर्मेशन क्या रिफ्लेक्ट कर रही है वो नंबर से, राइट, कि वो कॉस्ट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से निकल के आ रहा है या टेक्निकल परफॉर्मेंस के उससे आ रहा है. वी ट्राई टू interpret the things, information out of those. Then comes your decision tree analysis. In decision tree analysis, we try to go to the root of the problem. उसमें भी क्या है, it is more or less same. See, suppose we have to develop a new software package, हमें किसी कंपनी में चाहिए, तो whether we should stay with the same software package or we should develop a new software package, or we can buy the third option is we can always buy a software package. So we have 3 things now with us. We can stay as it is, but अगर हम इसी सॉफ्टवेयर पे काम कर रहे हैं so it is gonna cost us $50,000 because it is not updated, it is not up to the mark. तो इसकी वजह से जो हमें लॉसेस होंगे, जो सेल्स पे इफेक्ट होगा वो हमारा इट विल कॉस्ट अस $50,000, एंड इसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी है अगर 100% हम इसी पे रहते हैं तो उसके बाद इट विल अफेक्ट द बिजनेस ग्रोथ एंड इट टोटल इम्पैक्ट विल बी ऑफ $1 lakh, right? The second option is that we can develop a new software package, but उसको develop करने के लिए will be needing a cost of 2,50,000. तो हमारा उस पे एक ह्यूज एक्सपेंडिचर होगा, बट देयर इज अ प्रोबेबिलिटी 70% प्रोबेबिलिटी है कि एक सक्सेसफुली इम्प्लीमेंट हो जाएगा. अगर सक्सेसफुली इम्प्लीमेंट होता है तो उसका कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं आएगा, बट देयर आर 30% चांसेस दैट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन माइट नॉट बी सक्सेसफुल, कि जो हम उससे जितना एफिशिएंटली वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि वो इम्प्लीमेंट हो जाएगा और हमें आउटकम्स देगा, वैसा कुछ होगा नहीं, एंड देन इट विल कॉस्ट अस फर्दर the $10 lakh, right? The third option is that we buy a software package, and if we are buying it, then it will be costing us 3,50,000, but 90% chances are there that it would be a successful implementation, and 10% probability is there that it might not be, and it might be unsuccessful, right? So this is the way we prepare decision tree, कि अगर हम ये डिसाइड करते हैं कि हमें इसी के साथ रहना है तो इसका इम्पैक्ट ये होगा. अगर हम डिसाइड करते हैं हमें डेवलप करना है तो उसका इम्पैक्ट ये होगा. इफ वी आर डिसाइडिंग कि वी हैव टू बाय देन उसका इम्पैक्ट ये होगा. एंड दीज आर द प्रोबेबिलिटीज, विल मल्टीप्लाई देम एंड विल गेट टू नो कि नाउ सी लेट्स सी व्हाट इज टू बी डन, राइट? सो विद द हेल्प ऑफ क्वांटिफाइंग द आउटकम्स वी आर इंटरप्रेटिंग द information which we require, right? So these are the your quantitative analysis techniques: interviewing, your Monte Carlo simulation, and decision tree. Tomorrow we will continue with the qualitative analysis techniques, that is your sensitivity analysis, your scenario analysis, break-even analysis, assumption analysis. Okay, we'll be covering that in the next class. Any questions from today's class you can ask now.